It's lights out and away we go. Verstappen away well, as is Leclerc, as is Sainz, and Hamilton covers there Sergio Perez into turn one. Verstappen leads, and on the inside there's contact between Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton has kept that fourth place. Looks a little bit dodgy for him for a while. Good start from Lando Norris, and he's got ahead of George Russell and almost getting tagged by Lance Stroll on the inside. Stroll might have an advantage over the Mercedes, but Russell is quick on the power. But that's a dream start for Max Verstappen. Kevin Magnussen's under pressure there from the Williams of Alex Albon, and going wide. Kevin Magnussen into the gravel and hits the barrier, comes back out onto the track, but manages to keep that Haas going.
Oh, Kevin Magnussen double oversteer in the barriers. Lucky to keep it in a straight line. Hands swapping position on the steering wheel there.
Carlos Sainz is coming in for Ferrari. It's the shortest pit lane, I think, of the season. And can they get to work nice and speedily down at Ferrari? That seems to be held for quite some time, and they had to hold it because Sergio Perez was in his box. They couldn't release Carlos Sainz because Perez was there and they were still looking for the tyre. Perez actually went over, I think, one of the cables for the wheel guns, and that is a disaster for Carlos Sainz. 12.7 seconds stationary. Two mates getting nice and close in a friendly fashion going through the chicane. Who comes out on top? Well, Seb is trying to hold this one as long as he possibly can, and that was a very nice piece of driving by both drivers. As Charles Leclerc makes his pit stop, and everyone's ready this time around. That's what a pit stop should look like. Max Verstappen comes into the pits. When you approach it, with DRS and really have to slam the brakes on, medium tyres going on to Verstappen's Red Bull. Hamilton takes over the lead of the race. George Russell follows him on in second. This is not a surprise, the two Mercedes leading this race, because those on the soft tyres were always going to stop earlier. And down the main straight, Max Verstappen's probably got the overtaking button pressed firmly and fully and deployed it. Russell goes to the inside, and Russell tries to hang on, but he can't quite do it, and that was necessary for Max Verstappen. Verstappen up to second. And Lewis Hamilton was leading, and now with Max Verstappen charging after him, it's time to pit Lewis Hamilton. And well, Mercedes fans throughout the world, Jensen Button, will be hoping you're right here, that it is a good time to put the hard compound tyre on and he can go to the end of the race. 16.5 kilometres extra speed down that main straight. Hamilton has to go the long way round. Perez locks up. Perez forces Hamilton even wider and then loses speed in doing so. And what kind of animal was that, Sergio Perez? That was scrappy, wasn't it? It's the main event, isn't it? Sergio Perez currently in third. Lewis Hamilton maybe targeting a win today. Needs to get past the Red Bull. This time he's clear. Perez doesn't lock up. Hamilton moves up into the top three.
Beautiful move around the outside. Nicely judged on the brakes there. Oh, and he's straight out into traffic.
I mentioned Vettel had pitted. He came out of the pit stop right where Hamilton didn't want him. Hamilton just about hangs on to third place because Sebastian Vettel arrived on the scene when no one was really expecting. As by the side of the track, Yuki Tsunoda stops.
Tires not fitted, tires not fitted.
Copy, slow down. Start again, tires are okay.
And the tyres are fitted as far as the team are concerned, so Tsunoda is allowed to rejoin this race.
Something wrong, something strange in the rear, something strange. Deep is broken, I think.
Stop.
Right, so there wasn't a safety car. There might be a safety car, but he's going to park up by the side of the track here.
Our virtue safety car has been deployed.
So VSC, race gets neutralised. Verstappen might just hang on to the lead here by making a pit stop behind the virtual safety car. Ted Kravitz, down to you.
Yeah, so there's enough of a gap for them to do it, but there you see George Russell, so they are going to stack. That was good for Mercedes because they had the position as first people in the pit lane to be able to stack their cars, and that was nice work.
Oh, we got another car stopping,
Bottas.
and it's Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo, and I think this is down the main straight where Valtteri Bottas has stopped. It's right before the first corner. This could be another safety car. Yellow flags are now waving. Sainz, wow, made the move on Esteban Ocon. but I'm not sure he got ahead before he got to the incident. Really should have backed off. Verstappen's been told to get into the pits. Soft tyres going on Max Verstappen's Red Bull. Hamilton is going to take the lead of this race, and George Russell might just get ahead of Max Verstappen here too. So Mercedes are back 1-2 in the lead. And now there's going to be an awful lot of activity. George Russell is going to put soft tyres on.
George was straight on the radio saying, I would like the soft tyre, I'm losing tyre 10. I think he was worried about that warm-up then. You gotta look at that! That could be an unsafe release.
That is an unsafe release, Carlos Sainz, on Fernando Alonso.
I'm losing the tyre, I think we didn't put the soft on.
Right.
Stop, box.
And away we go then, we're going green, and Verstappen has got a decent toe behind Hamilton, and Verstappen is going wheel to wheel down the main straight with Hamilton, and Verstappen is ahead, going into turn 1. Lewis Hamilton's been overtaken by Max Verstappen right at the start.
Look at that toe he got through that corner, and Lewis just opened the gap, threw it down the outside on the main straight.
Hamilton struggling for pace out there, and his teammate 20 metres behind him, and his teammate is not going to be 20 metres behind for long. And oh dear, George Russell nearly ran straight into the back of his teammate before he manages to react at the very last moment. That wasn't team orders.
I can't believe you guys. I can't tell you.
Lewis Hamilton's last lap was 9/10 of a second slower than Charles Leclerc, and Charles Leclerc is now past Lewis Hamilton, and Hamilton, who at one stage looked like he was going to get his first win in 2022, is not even going to get on the podium. For the second year running, here at Zandvoort, Max Verstappen wins the Dutch Grand Prix. The fireworks go off, and the fireworks in the briefing room at Mercedes might be long into the night too, as George Russell comes home ahead of Lewis Hamilton to take second place, with Charles Leclerc on the podium for Ferrari. For the man on top of the podium, Max Verstappen, who wins once again, and it all turned out nicely in the end for the man on pole. A lot harder than he did this time last year in Zandvoort, but Max Verstappen stands on top of the world, on top of the podium, and certainly very much on top here in Zandvoort. What a weekend it's been for him and for Red Bull.